Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Tuesday. Today I'm coming at you with an in-depth wear and tear video on the Louis Vuitton 6-ring key holder. I have a ton of notes in front of me, and if I keep looking down, you know why, and that's because I want to give you guys as much of a thorough, in-depth wear and tear on this particular item. I rave about it so much on my channel, and this is actually the first item that I reviewed when I started YouTube. And there's a lot of things that have been coming up with the wear and tear on it. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on what to expect if you're deciding or if you're thinking about adding this particular item to your collection. Now, most of you guys know that if I was to sell my entire Louis Vuitton collection today, this is the only item that I would keep. I definitely would. I love this piece. It has been with me for so many years. It feels like a billion years, but it has sentimental value to me, and it's just a great little item. And again, the fact that I rave about it so much on my channel is because I think it is just one of the best, if not the best, SLG or small leather good that Louis Vuitton has to offer. When I looked at the date code, I kept thinking it was from 2009 this entire time, but this piece is actually from 2006. So it is 10 years old, and I have used it every single solitary day. And it has never needed repair until now. Its age is definitely starting to show, but the fact that I've had it for 10 years is pretty awesome in my opinion. And I always end up confusing this with my monogram key pouch, because my monogram key pouch I have had repaired, but this one I have not. The only alteration that I have done is the fact that I got it hot stamped a few years ago. Other than that, it's in the same, it's all original parts. So yeah. Okay, so I have a total of 8 different points that I want to talk about with the wear and tear, and I'm going to try to cover every single nook and cranny on this item. So again, to give you guys as much information as possible. The first thing that I want to talk about for the common wear and tear on this is the design, because anytime you have something that has trifolds or bifolds, it'll start to show the wear the most on the edges right here where you end up, closing the item. So let me bring mine up so you guys can see it, and you will start to see that I definitely need the varnish to be repaired right there, because you can start to see a little bit of the fuzzing on the canvas. I'm going to bring it up as much as I can. I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but you can definitely see the wear here. And then let me show you guys the bottom, because this bottom piece definitely has it the most right there. You see that? And then there's that little part right there as well. So you will definitely see the wear the most on where you end up closing the item. I really should have taken the keys out, but the keys are important, or they're imperative to this review. So I'm sorry if they keep the sound keeps bothering you. Okay, so normally whenever you have wear and tear on an item, on a Louis Vuitton item, I would always suggest that you guys go get it repaired or go get it replaced, because you obviously want to avoid any further issues with the item. However, when it comes to the 6-ring key holder, when you do get it repaired, all you're going to be doing is buying time. And what I mean by that is, because there's no other way to get in and out of this item, again, like I said before, you will start to see the wear and tear the most on the edges. When you do get it repaired, it will start to wear in the same exact spot, because there's nothing you can do about it. So it might buy you a few months, it might buy you a few years, but it's always good to do, because obviously you want to make sure that it doesn't get into the canvas. And once the canvas cracks, there's absolutely nothing that Louis Vuitton can do, but all you're going to be doing is buying time. It won't necessarily rectify the piece from it ever happening again, because if you end up using it the same way that you were using it before the repair, it'll continue to have the exact same wear in the exact same spots. It's a little bit different than having, like the piping on a Speedy repaired, because obviously that wouldn't happen again unless the person's doing something to it to warrant that. But for the most part, you end up fixing the problems when you go get it repaired. But this item, you end up buying time. There's really no other way for me to say it than that's really what it comes down to. So that's another reason why I haven't repaired it. Okay, another thing is that the colored buttons have a tendency because obviously this is available in different colored interiors, and they have different colored buttons. The colored buttons have a tendency to wear out quicker because of the very thin layer of leather, and also because of the dye. So the dye will start to kind of rub off, and then the leather might end up rubbing off a little bit as well, because obviously when you go to open it up, unless you open it up like this every time, you'll, you know, the constant wear, the constant touch of using it with your fingers will start to wear out that leather. So if you want to avoid that completely, I would suggest going with the all metal snap button closure. But when you go with the all metal snap button closure, as you can see, let me bring mine up as much as possible, you will start to have the wear on the hardware. It won't be as shiny. It will start to get very dull. The gold hardware might start to chip and it might turn silver. Actually, mine hasn't turned silver. Mine has just gotten extremely dull. So you will see the scratches. So either way, you're going to get wear on the button, whether you go with the leather or whether you go with the all metal. Either way, it's something that's going to happen. It's not going to look in the best possible pristine shape throughout the years. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. Again, mine is 10 years old. So, I mean, you can definitely see it. There's some deep scratches on there, but it doesn't bother me. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk about is hot stamping. Now, some people say that when you get this item hot stamped, you want to make sure that you get it hot stamped away from the keys. I can tell you that there is no specific part, there's no specific spot to get that you should get it hot stamped. It's really up to you, because as you can see, I have mine on the interfold here, and whenever I do close it, it ends up rubbing up on my card key fob, on my other keys, and as you can see, it still looks pretty good. There's no spots missing or anything like that, not that I can see anyways. But I've had it on there for, I think, almost 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 3 years or 2.5, something like that. But it really doesn't matter. So whether you get the smaller letters, whether you get the larger letters like I have here, it doesn't really matter what spot you get it hot stamped on. It's all a matter of personal preference. So yeah, this constantly rubs up on it, and it, like I said, the hot stamping just gets ingrained or embossed onto the leather, so it'll stay there and it'll look fantastic over time. And obviously I got the gold foil because I like the gold foil. I think it complements the other gold hardware that it has, or the somewhat gold hardware. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about is I get a lot of people asking me if they should go for the colored interior or if they should go for the classic interior. And, you know, what's the wear and tear like on that? Personally, I'm not too big of a fan on the lighter colored interiors, kind of like the Rose Ballerine, even though it is beautiful, or the Mimosa, for example, which is that beautiful, that yellow. It almost looks like saffron. But the reason why I'm not too keen on it, or I'm not too crazy about it, is because of the key residue. The key residue you will definitely notice a little bit more on the light colored interior. But because you have the cross grain leather lining on the inside, really all you need is a white cloth and or just a clean cloth and warm water, and you can pretty much just clean off any of the key residue without having any issues. It won't damage the leather. It won't damage anything, you know, anything on the key holder itself, but that's just something that you can do. But I'm not too big on the lighter colored interiors. I prefer the classic because I feel that it hides the key residue a little bit better. So as you can see, if I brought it up as close as I possibly can, you can see that key residue right there. I don't think I've ever, maybe I cleaned it once or twice in the beginning, but after that, I was kind of like, okay, it is what it is, but you can see it right there. So, you know, the Rose Ballerine is beautiful. I think it is such a great combination with the monogram, but I just don't want to see it kind of dingy, if that makes any sense. Even though I know I can clean it, but in my own personal preference, it's not something that I want to constantly clean. But you can do that. So again, you can definitely see the key residue right there. Okay, now I have told you guys in the past that you can definitely use this as a little mini wallet. So because you have a little back pocket here, you are able to put a few credit cards, your driver's license, maybe some cash, especially if you were going to use this, you know, as a quick grab and go and not have to worry about a big bag or anything like that. Yes, you can do that, but I don't necessarily suggest using it daily that way. And the reason I say that is because depending upon how large the cards are or how many cards you're trying to fit back there, you will end up causing a little bit more stress on this back canvas than you want to, and you'll cause a little bit more stress on the leather here. And obviously, because if you're already going to have issues with the folds here, you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So if it's something that you do once in a while to just grab and go and you don't want to have to deal with a big bag, then definitely it's nothing's going to happen. But it's not something that I would recommend doing every single day, because you will start to see a little bit more lines on the back side, or it'll start to wear a little bit more different. So that's why I strongly suggest to try not to do it as often. And I feel that cash, obviously, because it's a little bit, it's not as thick or as hard as credit cards or a driver's license. So cash is a little bit easier to get away on this back pocket here. But just be very, very careful with how many cards you're actually trying to fit back there. Okay, now another thing that I want to talk about is the hardware inside on the keys. I'm going to bring mine up as close as possible. Do you guys see that right there? You will see that the key holders here have silver instead of the gold hardware. So all of the gold hardware that I had on this item, where the key holders are, the little slots, has completely chipped off and it is now silver. And that is definitely going to happen because you have leather, or you have metal rubbing up against leather, and honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen. You can constantly get it repaired, but again, there is no, way to go around it or anything like that. So you will see it very much so right there. Do you see that? I'm trying to see what you guys are seeing to make sure that it's in the shot, but check that out. You can see how much it wears, and it's all silver. But it's just one of those things that I knew going into it when I got this item that it was going to wear that way because of the keys, so just keep that in the back of your mind as well. Now, this item here has, as I said before in the beginning, this item has had a lot of wear and tear issues lately, and a lot of people have been talking about the quality. Now, even though I know this is on the lower end of the Louis Vuitton price list, I know that I do expect it to last a little bit longer. And what I mean by wear and tear as of, lately is because a lot of people that have been buying this item, they will start to notice the wear and tear issues that I told you guys about before within a few weeks or within a few months. Mind you, my piece is 10 years old. And the fact that, you're starting to see these beautiful details, if you will, these characteristics of its age is okay with me because of how old the item is. But when I hear about people having the same issues that they've been having within a few weeks or a few months, I don't think that's okay. To be honest, that's one of the reasons why I'm a little apprehensive as to, seeing if I'm going to replace this item, because of all of the issues that you hear about. So maybe if the issues were to, to get better over time, then it's something that I would definitely entertain about going back to Louis Vuitton with this particular item. But it's, again, do I expect it to last a lifetime, forever and ever, and never go, never have wear and tear issues? No. Does that mean that every 6-ring key holder that Louis Vuitton has is horrible and will age, horribly and will look disgusting within a few weeks? Absolutely not. But again, the fact that I hear so much going on makes me a little cautious whether or not I want to go in that direction again, if that makes any sense. So, I just wanted to bring that up because this is one of the items, as I said before, that you hear the most wear and tear issues lately. Okay, so my final thoughts on this item. This item has paid for itself 1,000,000 times over. I have used it every single solitary day. I have used it in the rain. I have used it in the sun. This item has had some very, very severe falls onto asphalt, concrete, dirt, gravel, you name it. It's fallen in puddles. It's done everything, but it still kept going strong for 10 years. And that to me speaks volumes. And it's a shame that there's all these things going on within the last couple of months with this item, but I never had to worry about the interior of my bag. I never had to worry about it scratching, damaging the interior or scratching any other small leather goods that I had in my bag, because all the keys were always confined to this. And it just made it so much easier to be able to carry my keys without having to have a giant keychain or anything like that. So that is why this item is so wonderful in my opinion. Even with everything that's going on and everything that I've told you guys about before with the wear and tear, I still am madly in love with this item. And honestly, the $1 million question is, will I be replacing mine? And to be honest, I have to tell you guys, I don't know. A few weeks ago, I did a video and I said that I wanted to replace it. I wanted to do this, but I don't know. I have such a strong bond with this item, and yes, it needs repair, and yes, it has some major wear and tear, but still, the fact that it has lasted 10 years is amazing to me, and that is what I expect of a luxury good piece. Not that it will last for forever, but it will last for years and get my money's worth. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, even though it is on the lower end price list of it, I still expect it to last a little bit longer. And I am very anxious to try out other brands. And recently, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I was gifted a Chanel 6 key holder by one of my very good friends. You know, I have that option to be able to go into that. But I want to try out other brands, and I want to see if it brings me right back here, and I can tell you guys with certainty that the Louis Vuitton 6-ring key holder is my be-all end-all. You know what I mean? So I want to try something else. I want to give you guys a different review of something completely different to see if there's something better than this. But right now, this is my number one, and I think it will always be my number one. But again, I just wanted to give you guys as much information as possible, and you know, give you a heads up on the wear and tear on this item, because even though there is a lot of issues out there, I still think it's fantastic. I still think it's fabulous, but just keep those items in the back of your mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review or this video. I hope I was able to help you guys out in thinking about whether or not this item is for your collection, because it definitely is, as I said before, my number one. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.